Golf Channel's exclusive coverage of the LPGA Tour is presented by Prudential.
Sunday at Aviara Golf Club in Carlsbad, California. Final round of the Kia Classic. Our 7th of 32 events on the schedule this year. Whit Watson, Judy Rankin with you for some early highlights. Cristie Kerr making a move, tee shot at the par 3 6th.
Hole playing short today. Tee is up forward. It's only 139 yards, and she gauged it perfectly.
Makes the birdie. 15 under. She's one back. Lydia Ko, the world's #1 ranked player. This for birdie at 7.
From a long way.
She gets to 15 under. She was one shot off the lead. Kerr coming right back at 7. Catches an edge. She goes to 16 under par. Yet to make a bogey today. Ko at 9.
This one to turn in 31.
Lydia Ko and Cristie Kerr trading birdies on the opening 9. Here is Kerr's bid before she makes the turn. $17 under par is the number right now. Lydia Ko and Cristie Kerr both at -17. Mirim Lee even par on her round today. The overnight leader is now one back. In B Park making a run. She's 4 under today. Defending champion Anna Nordquist making a run. She's -5 today. Final round at the Kia Classic. Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour proudly present the season-long Race to the CME Globe. In Carlsbad, California, final round coverage of the Kia Classic. Carlsbad is about a 40-minute drive from downtown San Diego, depending on traffic. North San Diego County, not too far away from Torrey Pines. A beautiful stretch of land here. The Park Hyatt Aviara Resort and the Park Hyatt Aviara Golf Club. It's an Arnold Palmer design that opened in 1991. 3rd year hosting the Kia Classic. 6th year overall for this tournament. Played at La Costa, which is down the street, a couple of times. Also Industry Hills in 2011. And back in 2011, when Sandra Gall won this event at Industry Hills, her number was 16 under. That's the best in relation to par in the short history of this event. It's in jeopardy today. We have 2 leaders at -17 already. Whit Watson, Judy Rankin, Tom Abbott with you. Jerry Foltz and Karen Stupples walking the golf course on a beautiful Southern California Sunday afternoon. This is the par 3 11th, and we'll join Tom Abbott.
Thank you, Whit. Looking forward to this afternoon and watching the conclusion of this great event.
Grip to 25.
Yep.
Yeah, you just got to trust it's up there.
Left to right.
Yep, left to right help.
Lydia Ko, Paula Cream, Alexi Thompson on the tee at the par 3
Roll
11th.
a little right to left and get some green.
Karen Stupples is out watching it.
This is going to be a great example of what Lydia does best. Gripping right down on this hybrid. The hole is playing 175 yards today. This one high, just right at the hole.
Final member of this group to play will be Paula Creamer.
Yes.
A bit more than one?
Yeah, a little bit more.
What's this one doing?
A little bit of a slot. So, hang up. Yeah.
25 yards longer today than yesterday, so it is really a very different par 3.
And the wind seems to be swirling a bit, Julie, as well. This is a 5-iron for Paula. This is on a good line, just slightly right of the hole.
And we'll go back a couple of holes to the 9th. Sakura Yokamine, this for a birdie from just off the green.
While we have a moment, let's meet our final group here at the Kia Classic.
Hi, I'm Sakura Yokomine from Konoha, Japan, and I'm a rookie this year.
Hi, I'm Alison Lee. I'm an LPGA rookie from Valencia, California. Go Bruins.
Hi, I'm Mirim Lee. I'm from South Korea, and I have 2 LPGA victories.
Mirim Lee has this to get back into a tie for the lead. She started the day with a 1-shot lead over Alison Lee, but plenty has happened already. Mirim got off to a terrible start, bogeyed the first, double bogeyed the second, dropped back to 13 under par, but she's recovered the damage since then, back to even for the round, and now has a chance to birdie this final hole on the front 9 and tie with Lydia Ko and Cristie Kerr. That was just about perfect. A rookie last year on tour, she was overshadowed by Lydia Ko, who had her first season on the LPGA in 2014, but Mirim won twice, so has a lot of talent. And let's join Whit and Judy now.
Tom, thanks very much. Going off in threesomes on 1st and 10th tees this morning. The LPGA expecting a fog issue that never really materialized. What has materialized, Lydia Ko and Cristie Kerr catching up with that final threesome. 2 players that have a lot of experience in the winner's circle. And in Kerr's case, you've been very complimentary this week, Judy, about her ball striking.
Well, I see little differences in the golf swing and things that I have not liked so much in the last couple of years. It looks to me as though it's different. That's just one person's opinion. But these 2 at the top, and now they're joined by Mirim Lee. Those first 2 at the top, though, very interesting in the way they have played golf in the last couple of years. Lydia Ko, well, as long as I've known her, I guess, she gets the most out of her game. It's a pleasure to watch her. She escapes whenever she has trouble. She knows how to recover. She is rarely in trouble. And she just plays the game the way, everyone would like to play the game. She makes it a walk in the park. I don't think that Cristie Kerr has gotten nearly out of her game what she's put in the last couple of years. I have a lot of admiration for how she plays the game and how hard she works. But she had 2 seconds last year, no win last year. She contends often, but she's just not been able to close the deal of late. It seems as though that might change right now. Lydia Ko is 17, Cristie Kerr is 37, 20 years apart, so a very different golf experience.
Yes, Cristie Kerr has been on the LPGA Tour longer than Lydia Ko has been alive. First made it out on tour in 1996, coming through the Symetra Tour, and then had to go back to the Q School we mentioned yesterday, where she was a co-winner with Sayre Park in 97. That was the year that Lydia was born. This for a birdie, Karen.
And this from 35 feet, but she has made some monster putts already today. Only had 14 putts till this point already. Really rolling her ball well. And using a conventional grip here, Judy.
This is normally what she does from a long distance. She goes to left-hand low very often from this next distance we're going to see. Just a matter of feel, though, for Lydia.
Alison Lee got off to a nice start today, birdieing the 4th hole, getting to the top of the leaderboard on her own, but she's fallen back a little bit and has this to save par at the 9th, which she's done well there. Bogeys at 6 and 7, but she avoids a bogey at 9. The rookie who played so well on Saturday last week, shot 63, but 74 on the final day. We'll talk more about Alison as the day goes on. Let's go to the 10th.
Cristie Kerr at the par 5 that wraps around the water hazard to the left. Jerry Foltz with this group today.
We're probably trying to land something.
34.
34, 35, I think.
34. Not a full one.
Nope. That's got to be the club, though.
100%. And I'm trying to finish this on that little wire of the thing right there. So
In relation to the whole sign.
that little yellow bush is where I'm trying to finish
Okay, a
it.
little right of that. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
So
But that 34 spot right now is playing.
28, 29.
Yep. I think it's under 30.
Definitely, yeah, not enough for wedge though.
I agree.
So
No, that's the right club, just a little off.
I like the right side, the little yellow bush.
Perfect.
Nice dead-handed one.
Plays uphill this third shot from a bit of an uphill lie as well, but a fair bit of breeze helping, which initiated the discussion of subtracting yards from the overall yardage. This is a 9-iron from a total yardage of 137. It's a little right of the spot she had picked.
I think I heard her say a little dead-handed shot, so she didn't want a shot that spun too much, and sometimes that can be the result. Just to hang it out to the right a touch.
Paula Creamer with a birdie chance at the 11th.
15 feet left for Paula. Straight back up the hill. She can be aggressive with this one, Tom.
Just even par on the day. Needs to get something going, and she didn't hit it. Well, it's a trend that we've seen quite a bit on this hole. Players struggling to get the pace going back up the hill. And we'll go back to the tee at the 10th.
Pro Tracer technology at 10, presented by Capital One Commercial Bank. This is Mirim Lee at the par 5.
Interesting choice not to hit the driver at the par 5. That is a good position. It is possible if you're just a little right at 10 to drive it through the fairway and find some trouble. Don't
11.
think that'll allow her to get home, though.
Over to 11.
I think this has been the most successful Kia Classic that we've had in Carlsbad. Plenty of folks out there watching this group, Karen, and no surprises there with 3 big stars.
No, and I've got to say the weather is absolutely tremendous today, Tom. It's really stunning out here, and why wouldn't you want to come out and watch the best players in the world play a tremendous golf course and play some tremendous golf at the same time? This putt, back up the hill for Lydia.
Interesting. Well, interesting graphic got on the screen there, Karen. 14 under par for the front 9, 3 under for the back 9 this week. This is for par.
Yeah, she really hasn't played this back 9 that well. It seems like she starts off, she goes on fire, she takes advantage of those par 5s in the middle of the round.
You'd be a fool to think she was going to miss that one. So Lydia Ko tied at the top here at the Kia Classic.
She's feeling it. We got the early walks. We got the fist pumps. We have maximum Cristie Kerr right now. Another birdie. 2 in a row. 5 in her last 6 holes.
Good.
Lydia Ko on the tee at 12.
Found one out here to the right yesterday. This one is drifting a bit to the right, but I believe it should be okay.
Yep, first cut maybe, back in the fairway. Beatrice Riccari is the 2013 champion at the Kia Classic. This is the drivable par 4 16th. Saturday and Sunday, the tees being moved up both here and at 7. Players with a chance to take a run at it.
Combination of holes, there have been 11 eagles. This one is a great opportunity for all the players. I really thought the hole might be in the back portion of the green today, but it is in fact in the first third.
Only 11 paces on, 5 paces from the left. Interesting note about this tournament, an American player has never won it. Nordqvist from Sweden last year, Riccari from Spain, Sen, Gall, and Hee Kyung-so winning the first event in 2010. Il-hee Lee, this is the 18th, found the water with her second. This is to save par.
Boy, she has played some wonderful rounds of golf lately.
She had a chance, if she had made par at the 18th, to set a course record. As it stands, a tap-in bogey at the last, her only bogey of the day, is a 64, and it's the third time this week we've had a 64, which matches the course record. An eagle at 8, out in 30, back in 34, and Il-hee Lee plays her way into a tie for 11th at the moment.
The leader of the Kia Classic has reached the 11th tee, Cristie Kerr.
Going with 6-iron. Switched instructors, made some small swing changes between the Asia swing and when the tour came back to the States last week, and it's paid off quickly. Tom, she leads the field in greens in regulation this week at 87.5%. That is some serious ball striking. This one not turning as much as she wanted, but still safely at the middle.
Yeah, she hit all 18 greens in the first round this week. I can, you know, very accurately report that that is more than satisfying to a player.
Mirim Lee, 3rd to 10. Paula Creamer's second is on the way at 12.
She had 172 yards.
Hit very hard, downwind.
No, I like that. You want to land it almost in between the two flags.
And now Ko.
From 165 using a 6-iron is on an upslope, so expect this to go a little higher. Trying to fade back to the hole. Doesn't really move much though.
Lydia Ko bidding for her second win of this young season. She's one off the lead. This is Sakura Yokomine for birdie at the 10th. Player who won 26 times in Japan, trying to bring her track record to the LPGA Tour this year. Paula Creamer, even par on the day today. Dropped a shot early, came back with a birdie. Other way around, actually birdie at 1, then bogey at 3.
Has a somewhat fluffy lie back here, where it doesn't have an awful lot of green to work with, and it will run away to the hole. Going to be a very delicate chip with whatever club she chooses to play.
Players who work at the short game, unlike maybe players who just play the game for fun, very good with these very lofted clubs and short shots.
That was just a factor of the grass back there, Judy, just really fluffy.
Back to Cristie Kerr for a birdie at the 11th.
This one a little on the slow side up the hill. Even someone who putts as aggressively as Cristie didn't want to risk running that by 3 or 4 feet.
Yeah, it's been the story of the day at the 11th, Jerry. Safety first. Well, getting a little bit of not wanting to step on anybody's line there, so she's not going to tap it in. And we'll go back to the 10th.
Mirim Lee with a birdie bid.
This putt is really influenced by the back left corner of this green, really falling away, falling off, and you'll see this take a distinct little turn to the right as it dies. Touch too firm.
Lee remains one shot back. Lydia Ko is ready at the 12th.
This putt is downhill, breaking to the right.
And Ko will need that to remain one shot behind Cristie Kerr, also at 17 under. First look today at Stacey Lewis over at the 14th. -2 today, 11 under. That's 7 back. That club let her down yesterday, 32 putts in her third round.
Well, let's not forget about Inbee Park, this at the 13th. She is 5 under par for the day, and if that just stays there, no, it's not going to. May trundle back a little bit further. It's quite a steep slope there at the 13th. The highest point on the back 9, the players climb right up to the green, and that's the problem. And it makes you look a little bit foolish. Wow, that really has run a long way back. Like the 9th at Augusta.
And it's left her with a fairly hard shot.
Well, it was going pretty well for Inbee Park. She was only 3 behind, but now struggling there to save par as we go back to the 10th.
And Lee has been on the other side of the ledger when it comes to the putter this week. 26 putts yesterday, only 25 in round 1. She remains at 17 under.
Jennifer Song for a birdie at the 11th. Nicely done. Jennifer Song 2 under for the day. That puts her at 14 under par. Jennifer, 25 years of age, has been on the tour for 5 years now, Whit.
Tom, our course setup presented by the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America. Aviara Golf Club, Carlsbad, about 3 miles away from the Pacific Ocean. Bermuda and Rye in the fairways. Poana on the greens, which means it does get bumpy as the afternoon progresses. Aiming for 11-6 on the stimp. Arnold Palmer, this is his only 18-hole championship golf course in the San Diego area. We're about 35 miles away from downtown San Diego.
Course is in the very best condition of any time the LPGA has been here, and the weather conditions have been gorgeous, so all credit to very good play, but it has played in the favor of the players.
I've been receiving some text messages from friends who say that it looks like a botanical garden on camera, and it very much does in person as well. Lydia Ko, this is to save par.
Not much more than 2 feet here, Whit. I don't believe you should give the hole away on this length putt.
Mirim Lee has reached the tee at the 11th. 175 yards today. And a good tee shot. Able to get it all the way back to the hole, but they have a quicker putt than we've seen. Just being slightly above the hole there. Back to the 13th hole now, the third shot for Inbee Park. As Judy mentioned, this one could be quite tricky. And is it going to stay there? No, that could come all the way back to her feet.
She tried to play a lower little skipper, and had she carried it farther, it was a good plan.
The agonizing weight. Is it going to stay? No, I think it's going to go all the way back to where she was, may even go past where she was. Hopefully it doesn't end up in the divot. It wasn't far away. So all sorts of problems for Inbee Park at that 13th hole as we go to the 12th.
Everybody's fine. I appreciate it. Everybody's being fine. Within a routine. Thank you.
Twelve is a par 4, slight dog leg right.
At the end of that shadow there.
I thought at first she couldn't get comfortable, but it just turned out she was getting up ready to hit it, and some folks were moving in the gallery. You're right, slight dog leg right, but the fairway does camber from left to right, so it's really hard to hit it through it on the left. She does like to play that draw, which really doesn't fit here, but we'll see. Starts off at the center, turning to the left edge. That might actually need to sit.
Sit.
You never have to guess what Cristie wants it to do. You'll know immediately. She's played very well, has not dropped a shot today. 5 birdies on the card, 1 stroke advantage. 18 under par. Lydia Ko, Mirim Lee, 1 back. Inbee Park, 3 shots off the pace.
Back at the 13th hole with Lydia Ko. Looks like she's going to go with the driver here.
Yes, but she has to keep this down the left side. This one is kind of drifting right, Tom, again.
Yeah, looks like it's going to go right. Is it going to run out of fairway? Where did it finish up, Karen?
I think it ran through the fairway, Tom.
Up on the green, Inbee Park. This for a bogey. Well, it's a good hole location of the 13th today. Very challenging for these players. And Inbee Park may not like the fellow that set that hole location this morning, but it's the same for everybody in the field. Now back at the 11th, Mirim Lee for a birdie.
She said she putted very poorly last week. A lot of good ball striking, but couldn't make anything. And she works with Brian Lebetovich, who has been the long time coach of Cristie Kerr, although they're taking just a little bit of a break right now. But the thing that they changed was to try to get the putter a little bit more in the palm of her hands and a little less in the fingers to see if she could take her hands out of the stroke. And I think so often when we're talking golf speak, we talk about hands when, if you are a novice, what we're really talking about are your wrists. When we say quiet hands, we really mean quiet wrists.
It's going to be low and running. What's this cover on the left?
144.
You like the fix?
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're probably gripping it down a little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
coming out of there.
Yeah. And even if it ends up right, that's putting up at it. So.
Right. Plenty to cover everything.
It's just like a normal, like solid punch, and just let it turn in a little.
It's got a little turn to it. That'll be perfect.
I'm gonna kind of aim it at that tree back there. The dark tree, the left side of the dark tree.
Maybe just inside of that's good.
Okay.
Judy, she's going to have to play some kind of special shot here to get it on the green. 166 yards away. Needs to turn it over, but she's lying in the rough, feet above the ball, which is almost impossible to get that ball to turn over. Going with 6-iron to try and run it up. She can keep it under that tree and run it up toward the hole.
No.
Exactly what she's done, and overcooked it left. I didn't think that was possible.
Only thing you can't do there.
That's the problem with that wonderful shot that goes right to left, but doesn't actually go right to left. It goes left to left.
And so many players pull it off the side hill lie like that on the initial line.
Well, she made great contact. She would have had the ball slightly farther back in her stance than normal to try to keep it down and hit this little punch hook. But it started left of the hole, and when it got to turning over, put her in a jam.
Sakura Yokomine at the 11th, and we're getting to know Sakura pretty well because of her status on the LPGA Tour this year. She's got an incredibly unique golf swing, which hopefully we'll get to see. And her putting. Her putting's quite interesting as well, Judy. She seems to have a lot of body English in her stroke.
Well, as long as the backswing is in the full swing, a lot of putts, and maybe we won't see that at this distance, but a lot of putts have an enormous through swing. Kind of rare to see, homemade would be the wrong word, but the very unique golf swing in this day and age when everybody seems to swing so well and so much the same. We did get the big through swing, Tom.
And it's like her body moves through the putt. I mean, it's just remarkable, really. From a pro, I'd never seen that before, that much movement in the body. I don't know, you've been watching the game for far longer than me.
Well, no, I mean, it's certainly not the norm, but the one thing, maybe the one big secret to the game is find something that works and learn how to repeat it.
She's won 23 times in Japan, so it certainly has worked in the past. Lydia Ko at the 13th from the rough here, Karen.
From 107 yards. The lie was in some fairly dry grass, so it should come out well. But she pulled that one. Off a little of these upslopes, she's been missing a few of these lefts, just pulling them slightly, Judy.
Well, not uncommon, but uncommon to see her make a mistake.
Sayri Pak is having a nice week. This is her second at the 12th.
Just a 7-iron up the hill from 154 yards. That's looking promising.
Oh, yeah, that'll work. 2 birdies, 2 bogeys on her card today. She's about to get one back and move to 13 under. Here is the signature 14th, the par 3, Inbee Park.
169 down the hill. Probably plays more like a 155 number, somewhere in that area.
Back at the 13th hole, Lexi Thompson with her second.
Just 87 yards for Lexi, going with a gap wedge off a quite severe upslope, and the ball is below her feet. And that's one of the really tough things about this golf course, is you rarely find a flat lie.
It's a good shot. Sip. I could have been very wrong. It could have kept trickling back.
And we'll go back to the 12th.
Cristie Kerr in the bunker. We can tell you that Sayri Pak went ahead and tapped in that birdie.
I have no idea how this ball came to rest right here. I just talked to her caddy, Greg Johnson, and he says it just doesn't make any sense. That is a severe uphill lie. Probably 100-foot bunker shot from that uphill lie it just takes something miraculous here to get close.
Go.
That is awesome. That's not tight, but that is awesome. So easy to blade that or just chunk it barely out of the bunker.
She got unlucky with how quickly it stopped.
Meanwhile, back at the tee at 12, Mirim Lee. Uh-oh. Yeah, the one-hand release is usually a good sign that something didn't go right. So she'll be in a similar situation to Cristie Kerr Kerr has not made a bogey today. Neither has Lydia Ko. Mirim Lee went bogey, double bogey out of the gate, but she's recovered nicely, only one shot back.
Lydia Ko, this is her third.
And in spite of missing the green, this really isn't a bad leave. She had plenty of green to work with.
Cristie Kerr trying to save par at 12.
Turning right, probably about a foot, has only made 4 bogeys all week long.
And that's her first one today. Back to 13.
Lexi Thompson now for a birdie.
This one has quite a bit of break to the left.
Well, I don't think the players at the top of the leaderboard are going to give too many shots back, so Lexi Thompson needs to be aggressive coming home. 5 to play.
Inbee Park trying to get one back at 14. Oh. How in the world?
Everything turns and runs to the front of the green at 14. It's a little bit of treachery.
Hyoju Kim, this is for eagle at the 16th. Oh, ramming speed.
Takes her to 13 under par.
It's also $1,000 to the Wounded Warrior Project. Every eagle Saturday and Sunday on LPGA events. $1,000 from the CME group. 11 total on Saturday. That pushed the season total to $47,000 as of this morning.
13th green, as seen from behind the 14th tee. And Lydia Ko going to work on this par putt.
And from what we've seen so far this week already, Tom, these greens just really are kind of treacherous around the holes, and the players really have to give it their undivided attention.
All the players saying that the later in the day that it gets, the more the grass grows on these greens, and they are a little more bumpy, more patience required.
But so much better this year than they have been in previous years, Tom.
Oh, and that shows in the scoring. It's going to be a record 72-hole score. Yeah. Well done, Lydia. Good 4 there. Remains tied for the lead as we go to 12.
Mirim Lee, left rough. A little bit deep, huge greens on this golf course. This one happens to be a double green. Connects to the 15th. That's 15. Little connector. And that's 12. Alison Lee struggling today. 3 bogeys, just 1 birdie.
She had a similar struggle last week. Shot 63 in the 3rd round. Just a phenomenal round of golf for anybody, but for a rookie, and could not follow it up on Sunday.
Cristie Kerr has a tee shot at 13.
Didn't even watch that one reach its apex before the tee was in her hand. It's going to run off to the right, but stay in the fairway.
So Cristie Kerr 4 under par for the round. Had a great run towards the end of the front 9. 4 birdies in those last 5 holes of the front 9 and a birdie at 10. So just 1 bogey for Cristie Kerr. Lydia Ko 5 under for the day, chasing that record of Annika Sorenstam, 29 straight rounds under par. If she keeps on this trend, she will beat Annika on Friday at the ANA Inspiration. Alison Lee mentioned falling back a little bit too over for the day. 64 today for Lydia Ko, equaling the course record. Great scoring here. The condition of the golf course, the best that we've ever seen.
Yeah, everything just left of it kind of funnels to you. Right at it. Yeah, I like to finish right at it. All right, you go there.
This is at the par 3 14th. A Kia K900 going to any player who makes an ace. The first 2 players to make aces at 14 have not seen one this week. At this hole, anyway. Here's Lexi.
Using an 8-iron. And if there was ever a hole location on this hole that would be tempting for that hole-in-one, it would be this one.
Creamer, Ko, and Thompson, the marquee grouping.
56, he's going to play 49. You ready? Yeah. Good.
Lydia's using a 6-iron here, Whit. This looks awfully good.
Oh,
that was
certainly.
Beautiful shot, beautiful swing. It was a tight little swing. She didn't quite hit that 6-iron full tilt. Beautiful.
3 players at 17 under, final round in Carlsbad. Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour welcome you back to final round coverage of the Kia Classic. The Park Hyatt Aviara Resort, Carlsbad, California. The Batiquitos Lagoon to the left, nature preserve. Only about 3 miles away from the ocean. It is gorgeous country, and the weather has been particularly inviting this week. Out at 12, Mirim Lee, one of 3 players, tied for the lead at 17 under.
It's tricky in the respect that it is quick, it is downhill, but she has quite a little bit of fringe to roll the ball through. No problem.
So Lee plugging along. 3 straight pars on the back. Couple of holes up at 14. The par 3, Paula Creamer, the first in this group.
Quite a bit of work left for Paula. This putt will break significantly to her right. It is uphill though, so she can be fairly aggressive with it. I mean, I don't know what you think, Judy, about Paula and her putting, but I know that she's been, seems to be fighting it a little bit.
Boy, for a long time, Karen, you know, as an 18-year-old player, she was one of the best 10 and 12-foot putters I had ever seen. And now I would have to say she's one of the more consistent players tee to green. But she struggles to get the payoff with the putt.
She seems to hit a lot of putts that are just all around the hole, or they hit the edge a lot of the time, but they just don't seem to want to go in for her.
Cristie Kerr with her second up the hill at 13th.
From 109 yards, and even from that distance, you got to protect against missing it left. This is going to be the right club.
Oh, it certainly is, Jerry.
What a good shot.
Well, Cristie started the final day last year, tied for the lead, played in the final group, but fell away on Sunday, finished 5th. She's had a couple of chances to win at Aviara here, but hasn't managed to get it done yet, Whit.
Tom, as we look beyond the green at 14, you may see some differences in coloration behind that stand of trees where it looks a little browned out. This was May of last year, right here at Aviara and right there at 14. Almost the exact same look. Wildfires in the area, creeping very close to the golf course. And the club crossing its fingers, quite frankly, that the fires would not advance any more than they did. Golf course largely spared. There you can see some of the remnants of those fires last spring.
We have to give a little photo credit to Rennie Brown, who took all those pictures, sent them to us when we were in Kings Mill. When we were at Kings Mill in Williamsburg, Virginia.
Director of golf here at Aviara.
And director of photography.
Lexi Thompson was thinking she might make a move this afternoon. She's got 2 birdies on the card, a bunch of pars. Still within reach, only 4 back. Running out of holes, though.
Yeah, I really think Lexi would have to go some to catch the leaders. Judy said the leaders just really aren't going to back up too much, and both Lydia, Mirim, and Cristie are just too good a players for them to all 3 falter. This putt no more than 4 foot for Ko, but will have a break to her left. But as you've said many times in the past, Judy, the right to left putts are always easier for a right-handed player than the left to right ones.
We've got a great view right behind her.
Steady as she goes. This is 16, and Lewis with her second. Players taking a run at it. Hole location up near the front as it was yesterday.
Next week is the first major championship of the season, and I can assure you Stacey Lewis would like to finish this off well, but the fact is she will be doing a lot of thinking about her golf game, little detail parts that maybe she can get exactly right before next Thursday.
This is last week's winner, Hyo-Joo Kim, who is certainly one of those players to watch next week at the A&A Inspiration. Coming off the eagle at the 16th to get to 13 under par, 5 shots back.
Beautiful golf swing, great balance. She has a lot of width in this golf swing.
17th hole, par 5, 570 yards, likely to be the second longest hole on the LPGA Tour in 2015, second only to the 7th at Highland Meadows, which will host the Marathon Classic in July. Obviously, we don't know what the par 5s are going to hold at the major venues this year. Mirim Lee on the tee at the 13th, and you can see here, Judy, the fairway slopes left to right, the whole dog legs right to left.
It benefits you to stay closer to the left side, but the truth is, if you overcook it to the left, you almost cannot play.
So that is going to end up in the rough, I believe.
For the first time, Golf Channel is televising both the men's and women's NCAA team and individual championships. The women in May, the men in June. That is only on Golf Channel. Lydia Ko, 1-stroke advantage over Cristie Kerr and Mirim Lee. In V Park, 4 under on her round. Costly bogey a couple of holes ago. Lexi Thompson, Nordquist, the defending champion. Jennifer Song is 1 under today, as is Sayri Pak. Alison Lee, final group today, +2. Il-hee Lee puts up a 64, matching the course record. 3rd time this week we've had a 64 on the board. Morgan Pressel was one of them. She's 1 under today.
15th hole, this is Imby Park with her second.
This green slopes from the right to the left. The hole's somewhat generous today, just in the center of the green.
Imbi did not play last week at the Founders Cup. She took the week off, having played 3 straight weeks in Asia, including 2 LPGA and 1 LET event. She'll be ready next week for the ANA Inspiration. Holes 1 through 14, 19 under par, but the rest of the golf course, she's over par, Lydia Ko.
And this is not an easy tee shot, Tom.
But I think, oh, that was an interesting bounce there, Gary. Seemed to find a soft part of the fairway.
But it's good right now. She's on just a slight upslope, maybe the first cut of rough, but it looks like the ball really sits up.
Coming down.
Back to the 13th, and Cristie Kerr for a birdie.
Right in her wheelhouse here, Tom and Judy. Just maybe right edge or a little outside. Very flat speed-wise.
Got it.
We haven't gotten to enjoy her early walk so much lately. It's kind of fun to see it again.
She's certainly confident, coming on for 2 years since her last victory. That was the 2013 Kingsmill Championship up in Williamsburg, Virginia. Hasn't had a top 10 since the Canadian Pacific Women's Open in August last year.
Eagle bid for Moria Jutanagarn at the 16th. Oh, that'll help matters. She gets to 14 under. Suddenly Moria is in a tie for 4th with Indy Park. It's Ko and Kerr at 18 under, final round of the Kia Classic on Golf Channel.
Mirim Lee coming out of the rough. I've seen the problems that some players have had here, and that's going to have enough to get up the hill, and it's going to leave Mirim a good chance for a birdie, trying to get to 18 under par and back into a tie for the lead. And we'll go ahead to the 15th, where Imbi Park has a chance for birdie. This to get to 15 under and within 3. She feels like her ball striking is on song, but just the putting needs a little extra boost. Needs to hit high gear with the putter, and everything will be tip-top for the major next week as we go to 14.
Co-leader Cristie Kerr at the par 3.
7-iron.
Down.
Looking swing
Down.
there.
Down, down,
Go in.
down, sit.
See what golfers think about Park Hyatt Aviara Golf Club, the course hosting the Kia Classic. For course reviews, facility ratings, and honest assessments for golfers by golfers, go to golfadvisor.com today. To 17.
Hyo-Joo Kim, this to go eagle birdie at 16 and 17. She's earning some money in the last 3 holes.
Only 19 years old now. Last week was her 13th start in an LPGA event, so this her 14th start. She has never, ever finished out of the top 25.
Hana Jang, this at the 15th for a par. This was a moment ago. Oh, wow. I mean, that is a big fist pump for a short par putt. Maybe she's got a good bet going with Imbi Park or something.
Okay.
Now back in the semi-rough at the 15th, Lydia Ko.
On quite a severe upslope. Using the 6-iron from 161, and you could see that she really held on to that to keep the ball going straight.
Played it well, Karen.
Yeah, she really had to hold on to it because everything about that lie said, I'm going left.
Let's take a look at that with slow motion technology.
Boy, watch this now. So one thing you don't want to do on an uphill slope is shift your weight so aggressively to your right side that you lose your balance. So you're a little bit more careful with that weight shift, but watch how That move right there is what Karen's referring to, is that she held on to it. She did not just freely let the club go to a finish and turn over. She held the blade straight, to the line, to the target a little longer after impact.
Mirim Lee now for a birdie at the 13th.
Calls for a little firmer stroke. It's slightly uphill, a little turn to the left.
Very well done. Turned pro in 2009, played on the LPGA Tour, where she had some success, finished 7th on their money list in 2012, won one of the biggest events that they have on their tour, the Korean Women's Open, and has won further couple of events and now graduated to the LPGA with a couple of victories of her own on this tour. So a very, very good player, Mirim Lee. Big drive here at the 15th for Lexi Thompson over the path, Karen.
No real surprise there, but the good thing about it is it is on the fairway. In a flat lie, she's using a wedge. This is just going left.
Left and long.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a long putt coming up for Lexi Thompson, a mistake there.
In our Kia Performance Awards, we'll check out who's in the running for the Kia Power Drive. This award goes to the player with the longest average driving distance in 2015. Yanni Sen got off to a very good start here this week. Could not maintain it through Friday and Saturday, but leading in driving distance officially on the LPGA Tour as of right now. Arya Jutanagarn and Brittany Lincecum, and there is Lexi at number 4. All the Kia Performance Awards winners receive an all-new 2016 Kia Sorento and will be announced at the season-ending CME Group Tour Championship. Jennifer Song just got robbed.
That was brutal. Ouch.
That was at 14. Chance to go to 14 under. She stays 13 under. Back one to the 13th.
Sakura Yokamine for a birdie. Been a tough start to the back nine for Yokamine. She dropped a shot at the 10th, dropped a shot at the 12th, so she's fallen back to 12 under. Almost a hint of Billy Mayfair in there with that stroke, Judy.
Billy had a little bit of a two-section backstroke.
Well, it's certainly been a mixed bag today for Yokamine. She's even par now for this final day as we go to 14.
Sayri Pak, 1 under on her round today.
Turning a little left after a nice 7-iron, almost hole high. Cristie Kerr was watching that closely because she's almost on the exact opposite side of the hole.
Lydia Ko, 6 wins on the LPGA Tour. These are the 4 players who were the quickest to 7 wins since 1975. No surprise, Nancy Lopez bursting out of the gates. She got to 7 wins in only 27 starts. But Ko is right in this conversation, roughly at the same stage, Judy, in her career, as Kari Webb was in terms of number of wins and number of starts.
Yeah, certainly. So we had kind of a good time trying to look all this up. Everyone was looking, but this was pretty much modern day golf. If you go way back, discounting Mickey Wright and a few other players who won an awful lot, Patty Berg, the one stat I did see is Babe Zaharias won 41 times between 1950 and 1955. She passed away in 1956, and she was already ill in 1955, but 41 times.
Kerr trying to separate herself.
A little downhill and sliding right a bit.
She is walking them in, Jerry.
Yes, she is. Third one I've seen, and like Judy said, it's always refreshing when we get treated with that special confident walk.
That's her 7th birdie of the day. To go up against just one bogey. That came at 12.
Has not enjoyed a win since her son Mason was born in December of 2013. So it would be her first time as a mom.
I believe he's here this week. They're staying in the house together, but I'm not sure whether he's at the golf course. Hopefully he will be on the 18th green if she wins. Stacey Lewis, 3rd at the 17th. And it's going to drift away. The first time we've seen the flag at the back of the green this week. It's been tucked on the front edge the first 3 days. Well, towards the front anyway. Stacey not too happy with that. To the 15th hole, Lydia Ko for a birdie.
18 feet left. Back up the hill, will break to her left.
About those 47 starts, 24 of those 47 starts that Lydia's had on the LPGA Tour, she's been within 5 of the lead going into the final day, winning on 6 occasions. Pretty good chance that she's going to be in contention.
Now Mirim Lee on the tee at 14. A lot of good shots at 14 this week, but not an ace on this hole yet. If and when someone makes one today, a Kia K900 in her driveway. 17-speaker surround sound system, 420 horsepower.
All right, you're good now.
They're nice, Judy.
You got your target?
The right edge of those yellow flowers from here.
Perfect.
That's rich skin.
I've been lucky enough to drive a little different model for a few days, and wonderful Sorrento.
They have you in the Sorrento, right? In the truck, SUV.
Here's all news, 2016 Sorrento. Very nice.
It suits you, Judy. It looks good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kia.
Cristie Kerr on the tee at 15.
Tee shot that suits her eye. I think it was yesterday that she bombed one over 300 yards across the cart path. A little into the breeze here. That was solidly struck. Nice little draw.
Dead left. Dead left.
Across the path again, Jerry. I was so impressed with that tee shot yesterday.
Yeah, that was something. That wasn't bad there either.
Cristie Kerr in good shape at the 15th hole, trying to win for the first time since May 2013. She's got a good chance here, but battling the youngster Lydia Ko, who's only one behind in B Park. 5 back now. Doesn't look like it's going to be in B's week. Cristie Kerr has a great chance of winning here at the Kia Classic.
Back at the Kia Classic, Park Hyatt Aviara Golf Club in Carlsbad, California, in B Park. 14 under, 5 shots off the lead, drivable 16th.
285 down the hill. This could be a pretty good line if it catches the hill just right. It kicks to the left.
Pro Tracer technology presented by Capital One Commercial Bank gives you an idea of what the proper line would be. This is Yokamine for birdie at 14.
Stacey Lewis for a birdie. Back on 11 under par, tied for 15th. That's where she started the day. Well, she certainly played some good golf already this season. Doesn't have the victory, but I think one of the favourites going into the A&A Inspiration course where she's won before. Mission Hill. It's just about a 2-hour drive. You can either go over the mountains or through the pass. Most players will head over there tonight that are in the field.
Alison Lee now at the 14th for birdie.
Young player, just in her third start, I believe, in LPGA professional golf. When she was 14 years old, she went to the U.S. Open at Saucon Valley, and they had all kinds of plans for the weekend to sightsee and so on. But no, she made the cut.
Yeah.
14 years old, tied for 26th. Shot a final round 70. And just a little note, the low amateur that year was Jennifer Song.
Well, 2 weeks ago, she was living in a dorm at UCLA. We talked to her about her first year on the LPGA Tour.
Yeah, this is my 4th tournament here as a rookie, and it's pretty amazing. All the rookies out here are playing super well, and it does put a little additional pressure on myself, but I feel like my game is pretty good right now, and I'm feeling really good, and I'm feeling really confident on the course. So I'm really happy with where I'm sitting right now and playing in the final group. It's pretty cool because actually just last year I had a tournament out here with my girls at SDSU at the Farms, and I actually was a spectator here last year and watched from outside the rope, so it's pretty cool to be here this year and playing in the final group.
She is part of the next generation in American golf, 7th currently in the Rolex Rookie of the Year standings, a player that was the co-medalist at Q School, National Player of the Year, winner of the Annika Award, got to the quarterfinals of the Women's AM last year, and a learning experience, still in the top 5 right now. She's only one over on her round today. Lee to tie the lead. Such a good chance there.
Nice back at the 15th hole, and Cristie Kerr. A good drive.
A little right to left lie here.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
to the right of it.
Okay, perfect.
He has that far tree back there.
All right.
Well, 119 yards. Looks like a pretty level lie to me. She might have mentioned it. Felt a little right to left. The green certainly slopes right to left, but as Judy mentioned earlier, very generous hole location. This is just simply green light territory with a pitching wedge.
So there are 42 starts since her last win. In those 42 starts, 14 top 10s, 7 top 5s.
Go! Go!
Good shot there, Jerry.
Yeah, I'll say.
Has to have been frustrating for Cristie. She's had a lot of chances to win, certainly last year. On 5 occasions, she was within 4 shots of the lead heading into Sunday, but wasn't able to get the victory.
16th green, Inbee Park, with a chance for eagle here. Lydia Ko is waiting on the tee at 16. Having a little snack as she waits for the green to clear. The tees were also up yesterday at 16, and this is what happened.
The aggressive line is to take the ball over the left-hand rough. She overdid it just a touch. It didn't settle down, and that was the result.
Her only misstep of the day on Saturday, really. Ko said later that she probably was lined up a little bit too far left and hit a pull on top of that. She did manage to bogey 16. Up at the green, Hana Zhang has her birdie. She's 14 under. So as the green clears, the group of Creamer, Ko, and Thompson on the tee at the 16th.
And this isn't even a driver for Lydia. This is her 3-wood. They have the tees hanging off the front end of this tee today. You can land this ball some 20 yards short of the green and it will trundle on down.
Less than driver.
Yep, 3-wood.
Pro Tracer technology presented by Capital One Commercial Bank.
She needs a really good kick now because she took the safe play. Can't blame her after yesterday.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of memory involved in that club selection. Back at the tee at the 16th, Paula Creamer 1 over on her round today.
Also using a 3-wood whip. Looks like a good line. More left than Lydia's.
Big, high draw. Settle.
That's a lot of run out. Check out all 3 of the tee shots from the Pro Tracer technology. Lexi Thompson took hybrid. Certainly was going for it. Thought she might get a good kick off the right side, but came up, I'll say about 25, 30 yards short. 15.
Cristie Kerr for a birdie. Start of the day, 3 shots back here. She's 7 under for the round and now has a 2-shot lead in the final round of the Kia Classic, the Park Hyatt Aviara Golf Club. 3 birdies in a row for Cristie Kerr.
Go back to the 16th. Lexi walking all the way up to the putting surface to see what she's got when she lands this ball.
It's really, if you look at it on the angle, she's not far off the front edge of the green. She would have been maybe 5 yards short if she'd taken a more direct route. That hybrid would have been enough club if she had taken it further to the left. But not a bad spot to pitch from. Loads of green to work with. Very inviting shot. She scooped to that one, Judy. A little scoop through impact.
Well, I don't know if being so far above the green makes you stroke it a little differently, but not good.
15.
Mirim Lee with her second to the par 4. That's a good one. 2 behind now, Mirim Lee, tied with Lydia Ko at 18 under, 2 back of Cristie Kerr. The final 3 ball. Mirim Lee, Alison Lee, Sakura Yokomine. As we mentioned earlier, there was a threat of fog this morning, which wasn't supposed to lift until about 10 a.m., so that's why they went split tees with 3 balls, but the fog didn't come.
Stacey Lewis at the 18th.
Hit as bad a shot yesterday from that spot as we have ever seen Stacey Lewis hit. We didn't have an explanation for it, but she had to call it unplayable and go back and hit it again. Nice shot there at 18 today, though. The hole 42 paces back at 18. Giant green.
Lewis is 2 under on her round today. Really just couldn't get it going. 2 birdies, no bogeys. She's working on a string of 7 consecutive pars. Back at 16, Creamer.
And using a wedge here to chip it over this little saddle on the green. Too much rough and grass to putt through.
That's pretty.
And that was a great option.
Yeah, that's pretty clever.
Alison Lee now with her second to the 15th.
Good ball.
Oh, good one. Really good one. Well, Alison Lee might be able to put together a good finish. She's birdied the 14th hole. That should be a birdie at 15, which would get her to 15 under par, and still 5 behind, but it's going to be a nice finish for the rookie.
Lydia Ko using the aim point.
Most of the break is at the center. Yes, correct. It's down. Yes.
Quite a touchy putt, this one. Looks to me like it's going to be fairly swift once it gets to the hole.
To tie the lead.
Good putt.
A little better speed. She might have made that.
Went out in 31. But while Cristie Kerr has made 4 birdies in her first 6 holes on the back 9, Ko has made only 1.
Yes.
Now back up at the green. Lexi with a somewhat indifferent second shot to this short par 4. Has some work left for birdie.
Yeah, she would have been very disappointed with that pitch. But everything will be forgiven if she makes the putt, though, Whit. She would have learnt a little bit from Lydia's putt.
Yokamine for a birdie at the 15th hole. Gives you an idea of the undulation on this green, and it's not considered one of the more slopey greens on the golf course. I suppose it's a gentle slope, but that one had a lot of break in it.
Generally been one of the harder holes on the golf course, though. 3rd hardest hole this week.
She always has little messages written on her shirt. Another one today.
Yesterday was talent overflows. Today is clarity. Clarify.
Invincible mind, go forward.
Ah, there you go. Well, if you're watching in Japan, that might be difficult to read, and she's got a lot of fans in Japan. Okay, Mirim Lee. This for a birdie to get to 19 under. Still has a really good chance because they have the 16th hole to play, and that's an eagle chance coming up. So, although she's 2 behind, very much in the running.
That little look that we just saw is just part of her pre-shot routine putting. I think when she's putting the marker back and placing the ball, that little look is confirming to her that she has the line on the ball pointed to where she'd like to start it.
Paula Creamer for birdie at the 16th. Creamer 1 over on her round today as we go to 17.
Inbee Park with her third. Bang on line, good chance for a birdie. 5 starts this year, her worst finish tied for 13th, and she does have a victory. And she will be obviously one of the favorites for next week.
Lydia Ko. She and Lexi have almost exactly the same putt coming back.
Yeah, not much to this wit. Wow, I am shocked.
Whatever happens at the end of this day, remember this. Lydia Ko made bogey at 16 on Saturday and made par at 16 on Sunday. A short, drivable par 4 playing as the easiest hole on the course.
Yeah.
Okay. Trying to get it as far forward on the tee as she can by clubbing back a bit. A little bit of breeze in, maybe from the right. This sets up perfectly for that nice draw out to the right. Get it tumbling down the hill. Yesterday she aimed it just right with the driver, took a soft bounce, but still was on the edge.
Pro Tracer technology presented by Capital One Commercial Bank.
Total concentration. Total concentration.
She was distracted late on the 11th tee, which led to the big pull hook off the tee. That's just what you had in mind.
Left. Carry it.
How about that? Really beautiful. And I think Pro Tracer showed us a great trajectory.
Tom said we're going to see a new tournament record, a birdie here, or better, we might see a new course record out of Cristie in the final round.
Stacey Lewis trying to finish up with a birdie at the last. Would have made that drive to Rancho Mirage a little bit sweeter. Getting ready for the first major of the year next week. 17.
Inbee Park to get to 16 under par.
Putter's failed her a little bit this season, even though she's played well, Tom.
Well, she's talked about it quite a bit, and I wonder if it's sort of getting into her head instead of just letting it happen. So a good week inside the top 5. 15th hole. Alison Lee for a birdie. Back-to-back birdies for Alison Lee. Plenty of support out here. She's close to home. From Valencia, California, which is, what, about an hour up the road or so? Cristie Kerr with a 2-shot lead in great position at the 16th.
Today's coverage is brought to you by CME Group, how the world advances. And by the new Win Pro X putter grips. Feel the winning difference.
Lydia Ko for some time.
Lydia Ko trying to get her hands on that trophy designed by Muffin Spencer Devlin, former LPGA Tour player. 17th tee.
This one going straight down the fairway. No problem for Lydia, even though this hole is fairly tight for everybody else.
Yeah, you get it in the fairway here, and it's another par 5. Oh, you miss the fairway here, and it is one of the harder par 5s I've seen in a while.
Jump over to 16. Sayri Pak playing her second.
That wasn't an easy shot, and she made it look just so easy.
In an interview yesterday, I thought Sayri Pak was so well-spoken, and she's really become quite an elegant, I don't want to say elder, but just because we've known her a long time, elder statesman in the game.
Golf Now giving you the chance to win free golf for life for you and 3 friends. Don't miss the chance to lock in a tee time with your golf buddies forever. Enter today, golfnow.com/freegolf. Sayri said she didn't have very high expectations when she came out here this week. Really just wanted to get herself ready for next week in the ANA Inspiration. Jennifer Song just off the edge. She is 1 under on her round today, tied for 8th currently.
Just hasn't been spot on ball striking wise. Excellent putter. She's made quite a few short saves, or 5 to 10 foot saves a day. 5th year on tour, young lady with an incredible amateur record. Still quite hasn't Judy found her footing on the LPGA in terms of huge success.
Yeah, prior to this week, only 1 round of the 60s all season, but 68 and then 66 yesterday, so maybe she's finding something.
Yeah, maybe so. You know, so much is said about Cristie Kerr's charity work and her hospital in Jersey City. This young lady donates 1/3 of everything she earns at LPGA Tour events to children's charities. And there's giving lip service to giving back, and then there's actually doing it, and she does it.
Fifth year on the LPGA Tour for Jennifer Song. Well, this could be the proverbial nail in the coffin here. She's on in 2-shot lead.
I don't think you're comfortable on this golf course until you play those last 2 holes, though.
17 such a tight hole, and even though it's a par 5 and a 3-shot hole, you can run into trouble there. And then 18, you're not comfortable, so that ball is on the green. So you're absolutely right, but this would make it hard for her to be caught. I was just talking to her husband, Eric Stevens, and fellow former senior technical director Dick Ruggie from the USGA, and Eric said something really funny. He goes, she has that it thing going on today. And Dick asked what it was. He said, just that fire that you see in Cristie, and when it's her week, it's her week, and he certainly feels like it's her week. This has to die a little right by my read the second half.
Line on the golf ball. If you play the game, I'm sure you know there's a little apparatus to help you do that very accurately. And if you don't play the game or you're new at the game, you try to aim that line on the ball exactly where you would like the ball to start. It's a good putt. Gave it a good run.
Mm-hmm.
Final group making its way to the tee. Mirim Lee, Alison Lee, and Sakura Yokomine. Cristie Kerr has been in the top 20 on the LPGA money list every year since 2002. Her consistency is remarkable in that regard.
3rd all-time leading money winner behind Annika Sorenstam and Kari Webb.
Sayri Pak for birdie.
You know, it just crossed my mind, Judy, with the with the streak of Korean-born players winning on the LPGA Tour, which is still current, and thinking back that so many of them look at this lady as their inspiration to really open the door for them to find success in the United States. And her interview yesterday that you talked about, where she came across as the elegant and classy person she is, that was the talk of the range this morning when I was out there.
Well, I didn't know if other people actually saw it the way I did, but it was a little bit different, Sayri Pak, than I've ever seen before, and she seems to have embraced where she is in the game now.
I agree.
Jennifer Song with a chance for birdie. This would be only her third of the day.
And there's a lot of great putting strokes out here on the LPGA, but you'd do well to emulate this one.
Song moving up out of a tie for 8th. Goes to 14 under par.
What's their relationship right now? They're not together. Are they fighting or are they cordial?
As that final 3-ball waits on the tee, Cristie Kerr trying to add another birdie to her card.
Cristie was waiting back on the tee as everybody watched Lydia Ko miss a short one from this similar angle. Cristie missing one of these at this point in the proceedings, though, Judy, almost unthinkable.
That is her 9th birdie of the day. And 4th in a row on the back.
Best final round this year was Hyo-Joo Kim last week at the Founders when she shot 67.
Third shot at the 17th for Lydia Ko.
108 yards using a pitching wedge. Ball's above her feet. You do have to carry it all the way to this hole location. And as it hits that slope.
And she didn't do it. And you've got to believe that Lydia Ko has to birdie the 17th hole. 3 behind Cristie Kerr.
Now, after the wait on the 16th tee, Alison Lee.
First in quite a while to go with the driver, and I think that's going to be too far right to catch any slope that'll help it, and not only too far right, but in the rough.
Now Mirim Lee.
An eagle opportunity here for Mirim could change the face of the afternoon.
Oh. Now that's one of the best of the day.
Wow. That is certainly the best that I've seen.
That is the best of the day. But we've just been here for a few hours. That, if that drops, she's within 1 shot of the lead. Mirim Lee, the shot of the day so far. A chance for an eagle at 16 to get within 1 of Cristie Kerr. Recall that Kerr did not make the eagle at 16. Take a look at this one again.
Back on the 17th tee with Cristie Kerr.
A little bit of the breeze freshening from the right and in. That It's drawn up the left side.
Easy. Right.
Wouldn't you listen if she said that to you?
She's not asking, that's for sure.
Well, I think that was the key shot on this hole, because if you drive it well, you should be able to give yourself a birdie opportunity.
Lydia Ko for a birdie at 17.
30 feet back up the hill. Has to hit this one fairly firmly to get it there.
I think she's going to make it as well. I don't think Lydia is going to have a victory here, because Mirim Lee is in a great spot for an eagle, and Cristie Kerr seemingly in top form, 3 ahead. But it's going to be a great week for Lydia Ko, and another round under par.
I think it's just downhill a little up here, getting back to the green. That just looks like...
Wondering if Lydia Ko might be contemplating a dunk into Poppy's Pond. First major championship of the year coming up next week. Golf Channel's exclusive coverage of the ANA Inspiration begins Thursday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern.
The defending champion of the ANA Inspiration, Lexi Thompson. She played in the final group last year with Michelle Wee, and really handily got the victory. Her first major win.
One of the great driving performances ever in the final round of a major. She killed it a long way and hit almost every fairway.
And then I remember she took sort of three of the next 4 tournaments off, which seemed quite bizarre. I think it was either 2 of the next 3 or 3 of the next 4, and I don't know whether she kept the momentum going. It seemed a bit bizarre at the time. Now Paula Creamer.
Having made a really nice birdie at the last hole, got up and down from just off the edge of the green, hit a tremendous wedge into here, and this would be a really good way for her to gain a bit of momentum on a really sort of frustrating day for her. Nothing really happened on the greens, no real spectacular shots into them, so it would be good just to draw a line under this with a couple of birdies coming in, and then look forward to next week.
Back-to-back birdies for Paula Creamer, gets her 1 under for the day. And she is just inside the top 10 now. The final round of the Kia Classic. Look at that view out over the Pacific from the Park Hyatt Aviara Golf Club.
Down to the wire at the Kia Classic. Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour traveling to Carlsbad, California for the 6th annual Kia Classic. 3rd year we played it here at Aviara. By all accounts, the golf course has never looked better. Cristie Kerr is bidding for her first win since Williamsburg. At the 18th tee, Lydia Ko.
It should be pretty straight in.
On the green?
Yep.
Just using a 3-wood. Her drive got all the way down into the narrowest part of the fairway yesterday, so this is a bit of a reaction to that. This one, no problem at all. As about as central as you can get.
Let that one go. You let that baby go. I'm not being mean, I just don't want to. Is that what I should have done? Apparently he doesn't want to watch the shot.
There's some good banter there on the tee. I think Lexi was wanting the baby to walk on down the path. The path is closed to spectators. Cristie Kerr now with her 2nd to the 17th. Usually a layup here. I'm assuming this is a layup, Jerry.
It is a layup. 322 yards of the hole, so trying to advance this a distance that leaves her a comfortable wedge number. More importantly, though, get this in the fairway. And that line that's on the ball that she uses as a putting aid is aimed dead right, which would really mess with me. Beauty. That's pretty much dead center.
Got a good bounce. Down there.
Well, she was full of confidence earlier in the week, saying she's been in contention here the first 2 playings at Aviara. It's just a matter of time before she gets the victory. And at the moment, it looks like it's going to happen here. But you never quite know.
This was such a good strike. Watch how she swings the club. She swings the club very high, but she swings the club well behind her head, not over her head. There is no lift in that swing. It is circular, but she gets the club up very high over her right shoulder. And that is a little bit different than it's been the last year or two. There's been a little lift in her swing on the way back. It looks beautiful to me.
Mirim Lee, a chance to get within 1 shot. This for eagle.
Feeling a little pressure, I think, while she was trying to make that one. Happy to have it done.
1 shot margin for Cristie Kerr. It has our full endorsement after this week. It is a beautiful spot. Service is great. That's a good spot there, Tom. What do you think of that?
He gets a good look at the surrounding area, doesn't he, Bear? And he's close to the moon as well.
If it's 94, 89, 94, probably about 90.
Cristie Kerr in the fairway at the 17th. Just taking a look at the shot, just waiting for her playing partners to play. We'll go to the 18th.
Lydia Ko. 6 under on her round today.
From 165, using a 6-iron. Hole is located all the way at the back of the green. Only 4 yards right of it, though. Little cut-off swing there, trying to keep it low into this wind.
It's been a popular spot. There was a chance that Ko could have lost the world's #1 ranking this week. It would have required Inbee Park to win and Ko to finish in a 4-way tie for second or worse. That's not going to happen. Back to 17.
You good?
93 yards set. But that's fine. 94 is fine, 94.
I agree.
So.
I agree. I don't think that wind's going to affect it.
I kind of like at it.
Okay, perfect.
Tied with Mirim Lee for the best score on the par 5s this week. She's 1 ahead of Mirim Lee now, Jerry, and she might need to make a birdie here.
Yeah, she doesn't know Mirim made eagle back there. Not a scoreboard on this hole. This shot, I got 91 yards. They're playing it as 94 because it's a pretty severe uphill lie. She's going to have to work hard not to put too much spin on this for that back hole location. Well, she didn't take anything off it.
That's okay. Don't let the collar fool you. That is a very makeable putt.
Yes, we've seen players finish that far short and come all the way back down the hill. And Cristie has managed to get it back there into the corner. Jerry mentioned the work that she's done with her Birdies for Breast Cancer charity and the amount of money that she has raised over the years. It's led to the construction of the Cristie Kerr Women's Health Center at Liberty National in Hudson County. State-of-the-art facilities that have been built there. Tremendous amount of work. Wow, this is a big change in the proceedings here. Mirim Lee makes the eagle at the 16th hole to get within 1, but we understand she has been wide right with her tee shot at 17. And this is big, big trouble for Mirim Lee.
Yeah, Tom, this is exactly what I talk about. If you do not hit the good tee shot at 17, this becomes a tough 3-shot hole. And I don't know, every year we have seen players shoot themselves in the foot, either to the right or to the left. Neither works at 17.
Well, I wonder if looks like she's going to be able to get a backswing there, but maybe not a through swing with that tree in the way.
Well, it would appear as though she can advance this ball down the fairway, but it's going to leave her a long 3rd shot if she can pull it off.
8 or 9? 8?
I think he's 8.
Not hit it, right?
So you see the camera tower? See the guy in the camera tower up there? So, yeah, the one on the right, the crane. Blue crane. You want to go left of that.
Yeah, a little left.
Yeah, a little left of that. Okay.
Well, the leaderboard there on the right has been updated, the right of 17. Has Cristie looked at the leaderboard, Jerry?
Just not to my knowledge, but I can promise you Greg Johnson has, her caddy.
And I wonder if he knows that Mirim Lee is in trouble.
He normally walks pretty close to me in situations like this and will ask questions. He hasn't done it yet today.
Mirim Lee now ready to play her second. It looks like she's able to make a swing.
Yeah, better swing than it appeared.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Well, it's gone through the fairway, so maybe an awkward stance. We'll just have to see how far down she's been able to advance it.
I didn't think she could hit it that far, Tom.
Problems for Mirim Lee. That could be the tournament right there. Didn't expect it. I mean, it was a nervy start for Mirim Lee. She started bogey, double bogey, having been in front by 1. So she managed to calm herself down, but obviously that 17th hole.
Well, it's been a magnificent comeback all day for her, and then 16 really had her turn the corner. You can't help but pull it a little bit because your biggest fear right there is that you're going to hit it right once again.
She was leaning on the tree. I mean, literally up, physically touching the tree. It's a pretty good swing, all things considered.
But that good posture then let her do that without the club going right into the tree.
Lydia Ko, birdie attempt at 18.
And it would be some birdie if this putt was to go in. Massive break now to the left. That was just a tough putt all round, Whip.
Yep.
3 putts here yesterday for Lydia Ko. The finishing holes have not been kind to her this week.
Back to the 17th hole where Cristie Kerr has a birdie to get to 22 under and a 2-shot lead.
And got a great read from Savory Pak, who had to hit a little pitch shot from behind the green. Cristie actually had to mark her ball because it was in the way. Saw how much it turned left from here, and that was with plenty of speed to go some 3-4 feet by. So she has a really good idea what this does.
Couple of feet left for Cristie Kerr. Shouldn't be a problem, but this late in the tournament, this late in the day, you never know.
These Poana greens, they start to get a little bumpy as the afternoon gets later. This is Lexi trying to save par at the 18th.
Yeah, she had a really squirrely tee shot here, buried up against the lip of the bunker. Could only pitch out. Hit a 7-iron onto here. And this would be some par.
Savory Pak now to save par at the 17th.
About 6 feet as it turns out, turning a little right. Well, supposed to.
Well, it was a good stroke.
It was.
Drops Savory back to 12 under and a tie for 13th. Cristie Kerr giving this one a lot of thought, Jerry.
Yeah, well, it's that point in the proceedings, isn't it? It's only, well, it's inside 2 feet by my count. But she's gotten a little bit progressively slower on the short ones coming in. It is afternoon. They are Poana. But I just can't fathom her. I mean, we've seen it time and time again, year after year, when putts matter. She's one of the ones you want putting it for you.
Mirim Lee waiting back in the fairway. We understand she's got over 200 yards for her third shot. Yeah, no problem. Cristie Kerr remains 21 under par. A 1-shot lead heading to the 18th tee. Mirim Lee now ready to go with her third shot. And Judy, if you look at the stats this year, she's 123rd in driving accuracy on the LPGA Tour.
Not a good number, Tom, but now this is some kind of little metal fairway club, possibly a hybrid without a lot of loft. Took off on a great line. Not long enough.
Well, she managed to get the ball up and down from 285 yards on the last hole, but some problems at the 17th.
Lydia Ko, this for par. She might want to sit and think about that one for a minute too. Disappointing. It's going to be the first dropped shot for Lydia Ko all day today. Just one birdie on the back. Currently 3 off the lead. Lydia Ko at the 18th. This for a bogey 5. Well, the streak is intact. That is the 28th consecutive round under par on the LPGA Tour for Lydia Ko. It's a streak that dates back to the final round of the Lorena Ochoa event in Mexico last year. She was even in the final round that week.
Well, the rough here at the Aviara Golf Club, pretty thick this year, and we can't see the ball of Mirim Lee, so got to think that it's not lying too well here, Judy.
Well, this is delicate at best. Thick rough, you break away just a little bit quicker.
It all comes down to the wayward tee shot.
Yeah, and that comes down to you try to get a little bit too cute and you don't even get the ball on the putting surface.
Tee shot at 18 for Cristie Kerr, 1-shot lead.
Into the breeze, 3-wood. Big tee shot. Yesterday she hit it in the left rough and made bogey. This one in the middle of the fairway, or left middle anyway.
Well, she's going to have a long way home, but the important part is that it's dry. Cristie Kerr carrying a 1-shot advantage to the last hole, trying to win the Kia Classic for the first time.
Right at that left of the car. Yeah, the space there. Where you see that white. Good focus, right?
Mirim Lee got a ruling at the 17th. She was asking for relief from a drain off of the 17th green, and it was deemed to not be interfering with her play, so she will play on as Cristie Kerr, the leader, plays on in the fairway at 18.
190 yards all the way back to that whole location. This is a 5-iron. She cannot get it all the way back there. And if this were to happen to get close, it would just be a mistake. Trying to get it on the center of the green.
Pick it right. Pick it right. Pick it right. Go. Go. Sit. Sit. Sit.
I don't think she was hoping for a lot better than that, Judy.
Yeah, you know, she has never been accused of not being a smart player. She is a very smart player. Of course, some of that has to do with the ability to execute under pressure.
Mirim Lee did ask for a ruling from that drain, but Dan Maselli from the LPGA did not give her a drop, and that was a 5th shot, so it's all gone horribly wrong here at the par 5 for Mirim Lee. The best she can do is a bogey that would drop her back to 19 under par and give Cristie Kerr a 2-shot lead.
Back in the 18th fairway, Seri Pak.
That was a nice, crisp shot, just bleeding in a little from the left on a good line if it's back. Oh, right into the slope, Jude.
Yeah, no one getting back to the hole today. Giant green, 46 yards from the front to the back, and the hole all the way back today.
Back to the 17th. Mirim Lee putting for her bogey. Sometimes you see that, Judy, when there's such a high, Mirim making that eagle at the 16th, suddenly she's vaulted right up the leaderboard. Maybe it just knocked her off kilter a little bit. Sometimes you see that when players make a hole-in-one, and it's on the next tee, they're sort of all over the place.
You know, there is certain kinds of excitement in the game that aren't always good for your game going forward. I think you see it sometimes with players who jump out to a quick start, birdie the first 2 holes, and they start playing so kind of fired up that it's sort of hard to get in your same old rhythm, which that's one of the things we applaud Lydia Ko for, is her boring golf.
Yet in for a double.
Well, this par 5 proves once again to be a hole that needs your complete attention off the tee.
The best final round score that Cristie Kerr has recorded this year, a 69. Last year shot 63 in a final round. We'll go back to 17.
Double bogey putt now for Mirim Lee. Didn't actually lose her position on the leaderboard. She goes back to 18 under par, but still second on her own. And let's go down to Karen Stupples with Lydia Ko.
Lydia, another fantastic round again today. Looks like you're just going to fall slightly short, but your streak of under par rounds continues. Why are you so consistent? What is it about your game that makes you keep consistently being under par?
I don't know. I mean, I hold a lot of good putts today. You know, just I wasn't hitting it as close, but just hold a couple good putts. And when I had the chance, I kind of took it. Last 3 holes were a little iffy, like yesterday, but 67 around here is good, and I've improved my placing compared to last year. So a lot of positives to take from this week, and I'm excited for the first major next week.
I was just about to ask you about the first major next week. Do you feel any pressure to get that first win in the major?
I mean, I've been watching Golf Channel, and they've been saying the spotlight's kind of on me, who's going to win. But, it's going to be definitely a tough week. I know that all the girls are trying to bring their A games together, and that's what I got to do. So I'm just going to try and have fun. Hopefully I'll, hit some really good shots, make some good putts, and, give myself a good run for it.
Well, safe travels to the desert, and good luck next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Whit, if I was her mom or her dad or David Ledbetter, I would be telling her, take your best shot at this first major. But you're going to play in a lot of them. You're 17.
Only the beginning for Lydia Ko, #1 ranked player in the world. going to fall short here this week, but still in very, very good form as she looks ahead to that first major next week, the ANA Inspiration in Rancho Mirage. Now back out to the 18th green, Sari Pak.
She'll be first to putt. Cristie will be watching this pretty closely in terms of speed and what it does around the hole. Different lines, but still putting from the front side of the green. So she'll get an idea how much this runs out around the hole and which way it falls.
Speaking of first major championship wins, this woman made 2 major championships, the LPGA Championship and the U.S. Open, her first wins. She became a star before she ever won a regular tournament.
You have to think that Cristie Kerr was keeping a close eye on that one, if for no other reason than to judge the speed and what it does beyond the hole. Her line a little bit different. Kerr's best finish prior to this week in 2015 was a tie for 21st at the season opener, the Coates Golf Championship in Ocala, Florida. Obviously something clicked.
I think the swing changes, the confidence in Greg, her caddy, who she's long wanted to work with, and the sheer determination she's always possessed. She has not looked at the leaderboard, the electronic leaderboard that occasionally shows the first page of the leaderboard, and I'm not sure it had been updated yet for Mirim Lee. Greg Johnson, her caddy, knows exactly what was happening up through the bogey putt because he was asking me the entire time. So in Cristie's mind, I think she thinks she needs to 2-putt this.
There's her husband Eric. There is Morgan Pressel. They are all in a rented house this week together. I give Cristie Kerr a great deal of credit for her professionalism, her work ethic. She sometimes seems a little harsh because what a lot of people see of Cristie is her unique way of talking to the golf ball or yelling at the golf ball, however you would put that. But she is very professional, and she really leaves no stone unturned.
While that was happening, back at the tee at the 18th, Mirim Lee coming off double at 17.
The risk with the driver is that you can hit it through the fairway to the left side. But that's just fine.
Staying with this penultimate group, Jennifer Song. This is for birdie.
She too made a mess of the 17th hole with a double bogey, as can happen there, and I can tell you the first page of the leaderboard flashed up. Cristie was staring straight at it and appears to maybe be fighting back some emotions at the moment.
Well, Jerry, it's a little like I tried to communicate very early in the show. She puts a lot into it all of the time, and she has she's had her brushes with wins in the last couple of years, but it's really been kind of a hard road. She's not been rewarded in the way you would have thought she would for some very good golf.
She spends as much mental energy during a round of golf of any player I've ever been around. She's just so intense on the course. She has stated one of her biggest goals is to qualify for the LPGA Hall of Fame, the points-based Hall of Fame. And she's a ways off of that now, and every one of these gets her 1 point closer, and she's well aware of that and knows that, you know, that she's not at the early stages of her career.
She is right on the $16 million mark in her career. And that's when you really can say it's not about money.
It's going to be just her second bogey of the day. They both came on the back nine. She made bogey at 12, but then ripped off 4 straight birdies. Sayre Pak is going to go ahead and finish here. A bogey would leave Kerr at 20 under par. Mirim Lee in the fairway after making double at 17 is 18 under par. So technically, we're not finished yet.
But in many ways, she would have thought that she had 3 putts to win. And
right.
That will bring on some emotion with any golfer.
All right, Pak for par to finish at 12 under. Sayre Pak, member of the Hall of Fame, finishing her week at 12 under par. That is a top 10 finish, tied for 10th as a matter of fact. Even par round of 72 on Sunday. Jennifer Song in the same boat. If she can finish with par, it'll be an even par round of 72 and a tie for 10th.
It will not be her best finish ever, but second best finish ever, and she's really played some good golf this week.
These are those ones you don't want on the final hole, and they are expensive if you're not successful. It's going to move a little right, probably just outside the hole.
You had that same putt probably on Thursday, and didn't seem nearly as expensive as it does right now.
No.
Jennifer Song spending some money on the last 2 holes. Double bogey bogey to finish with a 73. That would drop her into a tie for 15th out of the top 10. Now Kerr to finish with bogey. Cristie Kerr in the clubhouse at 20 under par. Mirim Lee in the fairway at 18 is 2 shots back. This was just a moment ago as Cristie Kerr walked off 18 after the bogey. Forget all about it. That's her son Mason. Might be seeing a win from Mom for the first time in his life. There's one player left that can catch her. It's this player here, Mirim Lee.
Go in the hole!
Ball way below her feet. There's a good chance she can hit a little cut, and boy, did she. Beautiful.
It's a great shot, but it's not great enough. Lee had to jar that for a 2 to catch Cristie Kerr, and that means that Kerr is your champion, the 2015 Kia Classic winner at 20 under par. More to come on Golf Channel.